Hi, so this is my instructional video on how to build a computer. The first steps are learning how to build a computer is to actually find your parts online. You have your motherboard, CPU, GPU, RAM, case, power supply, and fans. It would be best to have all these parts to complete your computer build. Without them, you would not have a working computer, as each piece plays an essential role in building it. So of course, these are your fans. This is your GPU. That small little square back there is your CPU. And then of course you have your motherboard going all around the borders. And then you also have your computer chassis, your RAM, which is right up here. And you also have your power supply, which is right there. So then, once you have all of your parts, you can begin the building process on your motherboard by taking it out of a box and placing it on a non-static inducting table, or a cardboard box called a breadboard. You can then open up your RAM slots located on the top right of your motherboard, push the tabs down to unlock the actual charges, and then slide the RAM into the slots until they are fully seated. So this is your RAM. You have actual little clips that are up here. You push them down and it causes the RAM to be able to be slotted in. It goes in from bottom to top, so it actually can lock into place. The next step is seating your CPU and your GPU. You start this process by taking the hinge click off the actual CPU slot located in the center of the board, placing it carefully on the indicated arrow until fully seated on the board, and relocking the hinge to be able to keep it in place. So by doing that, back here on the actual motherboard, as you can see, there's a small little metal bar going across there. That right there is what you click up, and then it causes the actual slot to be open so you can put in your CPU. So then next, it is to actually identify your GPU slot. You do this by locating the GPU slot on the lower part of the motherboard. You can do this by unlocking the push lock button fitting for the GPU chipset slot on the motherboard, and then relocking the mechanism until fully slotted. So this is your GPU. You have a little slot that goes right back here, and then underneath this, from right behind, underneath the actual pos cap right there, you have yourself an actual slot that actually locks in, and then you push a button to be able to just click it. So then, after combining all your parts on the motherboard, you can now place it into your computer case by linking up the holes on the back wall with your motherboard and use the screw holes to fully seat it in to the case. You can then firmly press down and then screw it in. Next, you can place your power supply within the computer case as it goes in, and then you can plug your cords into your motherboard and GPU and CPU by locating the labels and matching the correct plugins to power them later. So specifically what I'm talking about are these are your cords that you would plug in, just like the cords that you see right here that are plugged in. And then of course you have these cords right here, and then you also have the cords that go all down underneath here on your actual motherboard. The last part is to install your fans in the correct spots to allow airflow to be able to cool your PC. You have three options, as you can place one on the upper left-hand corner, and then you can also place them from the front of the case for optimal airflow, which is where I have mine. Once you have set and connected them all on your motherboard, you can then power and start your PC. That is the basics to building a computer. Thank you for watching.